South Africans have been voting in local elections since early this month, and for the first time since the end of apartheid, the African National Congress lost power in Johannesburg. A new mayor emerged on the platform of the Democratic Alliance platform. Channels Television's Johannesburg Bureau Chief Betty de Beer reports. Here is the South African municipal election result sheet at a glance. The ANC is still dominant, but its support has diminished over the years. The battle for the big cities was bloodier. The African National Congress controlled 7 of the 8, but today the picture is different. Even Johannesburg has gone to the Democratic Alliance despite the ANC's win. In South Africa, you vote for a party, but elect principal officers in the council or legislature, even the president.
One of the things that are beginning to emerge is that those who support the ANC are beginning to split their vote. Yes. So which means when we look at national, provincial and local elections, you will see some variance in how the ANC performs between the 3 spheres, simply because some of its supporters are splitting their votes between the 3 spheres.
Gauteng province, the economic hub of the country, has 3 metropolitan municipalities: Johannesburg, Tshwane or Pretoria, and the industrial city, Ekurhuleni. Today, after more than 2 decades, Johannesburg is controlled by the Democratic Alliance and its allies. Mayor, businessman Herman Mashaba. Tshwane, Democratic Alliance and allies, Mayor Solim Simanga. The ANC only managed to hold on to Ekurhuleni with Mzwandile Masina at the helm. Intra-party fighting, political killings and the many scandals bordering on corruption and President Jacob Zuma didn't help the ANC, and those taking over are spitting fire about fighting corruption.
Corruption is declared public enemy #1 in this city.
But the ANC is not giving up just yet.
We are convinced that we'll go back to our drawing boards, make a proper assessment of what this elections meant, and on the basis of that we'll be able to have a program of action and campaigns to rebuild the structure and fight a better fight in the next 2 years in the national and provincial elections.
2017 is the ANC's big Congress. It will be interesting to see what will shift regarding the leadership of the party. President Jacob Zuma, whom many blame for the plunge in the ANC support base, will no longer be the party's president. He, however, remains South Africa's president till 2019, when the most keenly contested provincial and national elections are expected to hold, especially with the EFF more confidently joining the fray. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Betty de Beer, Channels Television News.
Here in the United States, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump kicked up a storm recently when he engaged in a media feud with the family of a Muslim soldier who died fighting for the U.S. But away from the spotlight, thousands of American Muslim soldiers are quietly serving in the military. VOA Pentagon correspondent Caleb Babb caught up with one of them.
Inside the Pentagon's 9/11 Memorial Chapel, built where Islamic extremists attacked the building nearly 15 years ago. Sounds of the Muslim call to prayer. Dawood Akbar is one of 5 Muslim Army chaplains. Since being stationed at the Pentagon, he leads afternoon prayer here, giving fellow Muslims a chance to connect with their Creator.
Allahu Akbar.
It's about the community that he has built here. It's like providing us with the venue where we can come to say our daily prayers, which is a big thing.
Akbar is not your typical lieutenant colonel. For one, he was born and raised in the West African nation of Ghana.
My dad was trying to get me commissioned in the Ghanaian army as a chaplain. Then I won this U.S. visa lottery. When you are growing up in Africa, not just Ghana, America is the land of prosperity. It's a place you go and do well.
But after months teaching some unruly high schoolers, he felt he needed more discipline and order.
So the military was very easy for me to just be part of it. And that felt home.
His Army career has taken him to war zones in Afghanistan and Iraq. Oftentimes the only Muslim in his unit, Akbar says he works to bridge the gap between cultures.
And they see me in this uniform. They've never fathomed that there is a Muslim in America, especially in the U.S. Army. Then they see one. They are shocked, but then they are happy.
At home, Akbar teaches his children the values of Islam and the importance of character.
He tells us that we can get the good grades, but without the character, it means nothing.
With the political controversy surrounding a proposed ban on Muslims entering the U.S., Akbar teaches his family to remain kind to others. As an Army chaplain, he spent about 2 decades in service to America. But he doesn't judge those who have sought to vilify his faith.
Definitely, some of these things are based on ignorance, and I always see this as an opportunity to teach people. So I want to move on. I want to be able to define my story. I don't want my story to define me. Thank you for coming.
Carla Babb, VOA News, The Pentagon.
Many polls are indicating the U.S. Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton is ahead of Donald Trump in the race for the White House. African women in the diaspora say they are excited about the possibility of a woman becoming the president of the United States for the first time in history. Channels Television's correspondent Maria Bird caught up with the women who shared their perspectives.
U.S. presidential nominee Hillary Clinton is our first woman to be a serious candidate for the White House.
Founders showed us that, and so have many others since. They were drawn together by love of country and the selfless passion to build something better for all who follow. That is the story of America, and we begin a new chapter tonight.
Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton's race to the White House is not only a historic moment for the U.S., but women of the African diaspora believe that she is impacting the world.
Well, I have to say that I'm very excited at the prospect, because what this does is it shows a lot of young girls and women that anything is possible. If we can do it in the U.S., we can do it in different parts of the world. I know that the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals focus number 5 is the empowerment of women and girls in different spheres of society. And I think that if Secretary Clinton is elected, this is going to boost that goal that we're trying to achieve.
I'm actually excited. I think that, it's overdue if she is going to become president. As an African, Africa has had, 8 women as presidents to date. And so having the U.S., get there is actually an exciting time. And I think especially off the heels of the first Black president in the United States, and to be alive to see not only the first African-American Black president, but then possibly the first female president. It's, I'm hopeful that this is going to trickle down possibly to future Africans and Africans, that they can see that progress can happen, and it can happen in our lifetime.
It is clear that women all across the world are looking to Hillary Clinton to be the next president for the U.S. We shall see what happens in November. From Washington, Maria Bird, Channels Television News.
It's time now for another break. Before we go, here's a reminder to visit our website, channelstv.com, for all the latest information day or night. You can also find us on youtube.com/channelsweb. Still to come on Africa 54. There's really no art scene in South Sudan. Political conflict and violence precludes it, but there's at least one exception in Juba, which we'll show you after the break.